So AIGP Kasingye, we are very happy to have you talk to us, Livara. Like we have been discussing, we're all about natural hair, natural skin, being authentically African. And we wanted to find out if you share the same views, especially with a huge organization like the Uganda Police that you run. But first of all, you as you, what is your view on natural hair, people having their natural hair, especially here in police?
Okay, first and foremost, I believe that everybody is, created with rights, with freedoms, with the right to enjoy, yourself. I also believe that it's part of self-esteem for people to look the way they look, but also to try to maybe add on one or two things about their bodies, in order to look better. It's a matter of choice on how you want to present yourself, but of course with the realization that you're in a certain society, probably there are certain norms and the way they perceive certain things. So yeah, I have no issues with that, as long as you're not committing a crime. So I don't have any problem with anybody. When I was growing up, these days I see young men with a clean cut here in the hair, a line, and they tell us that this line is for young people. When I was growing up, it was called Patti.
Oh.
Patti actually is Patrice Lumumba.
Oh.
Because Patrice Lumumba had a line
Yes.
here. So whoever put a line, just like you see people now want to look like Mandela, and they used to put on, or at one time Obote, the way he did his hair. So all those fathers and grandfathers, when we were growing up, they had a Patti. Okay? Now young people have now gone and reinvented it, and they say it's for young people. No, this Patti was for old people. Lumumba was not young. So now they think that it's for young people. Anyway, so I'm trying to say that over a period of time, different era, that people have decided to look the way they look. When I was in secondary and part of Makerere University, the Afro hair was in vogue. Now, people who know me, I had that puff of hair, and this is what we we young people would want to be acquainted with, and so if you didn't have it, then you are not in vogue. You're either an old person or something like that. But now these days, as I clean my head and I make sure that every Sunday I have hair that grows very, 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 very fast. By the time I reach Sunday, I cut my hair on Sunday. By the time it reaches Sunday, it's already overgrown. I'm thinking about cutting twice in a month. Okay? Yet the other time, you would never touch my hair for a whole year. Okay? So I wanted it that way. But now I am thinking about cutting it twice. Yet there are people who want to put additions. You have your hair, and yet you want to put an addition.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
And okay, if I don't want it, it disturbs me. Why do you want to add? But after adding, they get a different look. Yes, they have a different look. They sometimes it suits the occasion. Now they are going for this occasion. They have to look that way. If I'm going for a rugby game, probably I have to wear a certain hair. It's not the same as I'm going for a wedding. Okay, so I think people should be left to choose the way they want to look, depending on the institution they are, depending on the functions they go for, or they want to express something inner. You see, there are certain people and they have inner feelings that they want to emote. Okay?
Yeah.
You may not know. I'll give you an example. That in Ankole, where I come from,
Yes.
when you lose your parents, you must shave the hair clean, not even one small piece.
Oh, that culture still exists?
I mean, there are people with still that culture. Even right now, you only cut it and you make it small, but it's a culture that you've lost your father, so they will say, trim your hair.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
But even here in Uganda, there are certain things that you must do. It may be you have to tie something, you know, like a back cloth.
Yes. Yes.
To symbolize that maybe something is a mock, something is, you know, sad moments, and when you're happy, there are certain things that you must put on your body.
Yes.
So it's the same as the way your skin must look, the way your hair must look, depending on how you want to express something.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
But also, there are certain things that are attached to different vocations. I'll give an example. I'm a chairman of the football club, Uganda Police Football Club.
Do you play?
No, I'm only the chairman of the club, but there's a team that plays for the club.
Do you
For
coach?
No, I am. For me,
You're the
I just,
chairman of the club.
yes, I can only go there and applaud them and clap because my years have gone. I used to play a bit, but now I can't.
Okay.
Now, whatever you do, don't touch a player's hair. Don't even legislate about it. So, players of football everywhere in the world express themselves as players through their hairstyles.
Are the players policemen?
Some are not.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
The majority of them, I think we have one or two policemen I think there are two policemen.
Okay. Yes.
Now, the rest, they want to wear their hair. They have a certain style of hair that somebody is known for.
Yeah,
You see, when you
trending at the
yes,
time.
you see when you are playing football, then you have an image.
Yes.
David Beckham had an image,
Oh yes. Yes.
and this image had to, you know, if you see somebody playing, he has to have a certain image. Okay,
Yes.
and that explains who you are.
Yes.
How people love you, what you know, the type of play that you make. So they have certain hairstyles. I'll give you an example. In 2000, in World Cup, I think of 1998.
You must be a football fan.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
There was a World Cup in France. In France. Now, you know that the biggest player at that time was a player called Ronaldo.
Okay.
I think Ronaldo, I think his other name could have been Nazario or something. Not this Ronaldo, but
The older.
the number 9 Ronaldo. This is a number 7, the other one is a number 9.
9.
I'm not going into who is whatever, but there was a Ronaldo.
Okay.
And then when he there's a way he cut his hair. Then one of the players in his team cut that hair, and the first game he played, all of them had a whatever. Then when he went home, he got a call from his son, from his wife, and his wife was like, Junior cannot differentiate you with either Rivaldo or whoever he was playing with.
Yes.
And I said, why? Because you have the same hairstyle. So the boy is just applauding you and applauding Rivaldo. I think it was not Rivaldo, but somebody else. And so he came and cut something like this.
The fatty.
No. He cut his hair
Yes.
and left some hair
Oh,
just
yeah.
here.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
So it is expressive. Hair is expressive.
Yes.
You talked about natural skins, but there are people who change natural skins not because they want to, just because they want to exude certain inner things. I'll give you an example. Players again, you know, when they are playing, they have tattoos.
Yes.
Okay, and sometimes they are forced to remove their shirt because the laws of the game don't allow them to remove the shirt.
Yes.
But at the end of the game, he removes the shirt, throws it to somebody. You think that really he wants to throw the shirt he was putting on, but he wants to show his back, he wants to show his whatever, and that kind of thing, so that people see the kind of tattoos they are, the tattoos they are putting on. In short, for me, I appreciate all these depending on the kind of vocation or activity, or you want to tell the world that you're not happy, there is a way you look like. If you're so happy and you're expressive, you want to change your hair, look like different. I think it's part of the freedoms that people have.
So based on that note, you know that men, one way in which men express themselves, especially if the genetics can afford, is through their beard, right? You find some, these days beards have become a whole different trend. People want to grow their beard, grow it thick, grow it healthy. What does the police have to say about beards? I've noticed there are many policemen who don't have beards.
Many or none?
I want to be kind and conservative, so I have not seen any policeman that has a beard. Why is that?
No, it's because of our police standing orders. We have a police standing orders. Every service organization,
Yes.
like UPDF, Uganda Prison Service, Uganda Police Force,
Yes.
we have standing orders.
Yes.
There is a law called the Police Act.
Okay.
Now, the Police Act does not go into, you know, how you should cut your hair, how you should look, how you should wear your uniform. That is not the role of Parliament.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now, for them, they always say your duty is this, you should execute it like this, and these are the reasons you know, if you don't do this, then you have committed an offense like this and this. That is fine.
Yeah.
But then we go and come up with our own standing orders. Standing orders means that as a police officer, I hope you know something called institutional culture.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Very good. So institutional culture, for me, I can sit somewhere in a bar, in a restaurant, wherever I sit, I see people coming in. If a police officer comes in, whether I know him, even if I don't know him, I will just give him just one short glance, and I will say, that is a police officer.
Okay.
The way you behave, the way you put on, the way you walk, the way whatever. So it is through socialization and certain institutional things that are put in the police standing orders.
Okay.
However, some of the police standing orders, we don't agree with them. So they need to change with time.
Okay.
Like we now have a constitution, a new constitution of 1995. We also have a police act of 1996. Now the police standing orders of 1984,
Yes.
which is like 10 years before that, a decade, should have changed.
I know, yes.
Now we are right now reviewing the standing orders
Does this mean that we shall see
of
some
1994.
policemen with beard?
I don't know, but what I know that the standing orders now do not allow us to wear a beard.
Why? You cannot hold a weapon in your beard. So is it a sign of cleanliness? Is it a sign of
It comes from cleanliness.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you are like on training and you have a beard and you have hair, okay, or that kind of thing, we all know what goes into training. Okay, so training is you know, changing your body to get accustomed to certain external and internal influences over you, and which are going to be part and parcel of your body.
Okay.
Okay? Yes. You're a young person who have come from the village, you have been in university or you have been in secondary school, and now you come and join an institution, and it now dawns on you that you are going to carry a gun throughout you as long as you are in the police. You're going to carry a gun. Yeah. You're carrying 10 kilograms every day.
Oh, it's more than 5, wow.
Yes, you're carrying 10 kilograms every day. Sometimes you have to carry this gun. Sometimes you have to put on a pistol, which is 5 kilograms. Sometimes you have to put on a belt. The belt itself is something like maybe 500 grams. Yes. Then you have to put on shoes, which are about 2 kilograms. Those boots that you are putting on. Each. Yes. Then you have to put on a jacket. If you're in Somalia or wherever, or sometimes here, you have to put on a bullet, kind of like a bulletproof. Yes. You know, it's a huge thing. Or if it is not that bulletproof, you have to put on like a jacket, and you have to put on, you know, a radio, police radio, your own phones. Maybe there are some bullets, maybe there are some whatever, maybe a notebook. You can imagine now, that body cannot be a body.
Yeah, it has to be a well-trained body.
It has to be a well-trained body. You are going to work at night, you are going to work wherever, you are going to work in places which are incognito, not seen. Probably you are in a trench. That's where you are going to take cover. That's where you are going to wait for criminals. That you're going in a trench. In training, they are going to put you in that trench. That means that you have to be trained in a way that you will see in the future. Therefore, from point A, before you even go into that training school, before even they do anything, all of you cut your hair off.
Even the women?
Everybody.
Wow.
Up to the skin.
No distractions.
You must cut your hair because there is no time to shave. Yeah. There is no time to look after your hair. There is no time. So you must cut it off.
How long is the training for?
1 year. Wow. Yeah. Then you can grow your hair. Yes. But once you grow your hair, then the police standing orders say also that do not grow your hair beyond a certain level.
For men or for women as well?
For men, don't grow your hair up to a certain level. You see, I put on this cap.
Yes.
So I put it on like this. They say the hair must not grow longer than the circumference of this. So you cannot bring this cap and put it here, and then you have hair which is bigger than this cap. You look like a Congolese dancer or something like that. I'm sorry to say that. Yes. So you look like an artist. You look like you're not a policeman. Yes. According to our police standing orders. I'm not invented this, so people who hear me say this, they may say, I'm the one saying this. No. Now, if it is a woman, you have your hair. So when you are going to put on uniform and put on this, you must bring your hair here and clip it behind here. Okay. Okay. So that if you put on this, we don't see your hair here, but we only see your hair clipped. This part is green. Here is red. Here is blue. And here is whatever. No.
Okay, not acceptable.
Not acceptable. So you're not going to have this hair, much as we say you have your hair, but you go and put different colors in the hair, which means you attract people to your hair, to yourself, and not to the general good, because you're a police officer.
Yes.
Yes. So we cannot now have people like different styles, as if you know on the run. Is it called the runway? Yes. As if you're on the runway. No. We don't. In any way we don't sell people's products.
I don't understand. What do you mean you don't sell people's products?
When somebody's on the runway, what are they doing?
They're selling products.
Yeah. So you put on a certain shoe. So So if you're putting on a certain shoe, we say we only put on one type of shoe. So you cannot put on your uniform and then you put on a high heel because people have to see you in a high heel. So we come and say, no, go to the runway.
Yes.
Yeah, but here we in the police, so we must look in a certain. Now,
Yes.
if you have to keep a mustache, you are allowed.
Oh, okay.
You are allowed to keep a mustache,
Uh-huh.
but it must be short,
Okay.
close to your body. It must not be long, but must be clean. Clean, meaning it's near your body. But here, it must be
Clean shaven.
clean shaven. Okay, I've told you how the hair should look like, but there are other things that, of course, that we talk about that should be on.
The exceptions. You know, the world is changing. People are becoming more aware of who they can be, their history, their heritage, and the world is becoming more accommodating to these changes. For example, the dreadlock styles, right? I have two issues with those. I understand that you have a code of ethics which prohibits the policemen from having hair of any sorts, and that is understandable. But then the thing is, why is it that when out on the street, say I'm walking with a friend of mine or friends of mine who are walking behind me, and they have dreadlocks, say we are walking out at night, there is a general bias that the people with the dreadlocks would be the troublemakers in comparison to, say, me. The same bias I would give. For example, there's this very recent story that went around on the internet. The director of this Wakanda movie, what's it called? The Wakanda movie. The director was Black Panther. The director is a black guy. So very wealthy guy, young. So he had gone to this bank in the US Bank of America to withdraw some money. And he had on a hoodie, a mask, and he wrote on a small sheet of paper that, please be discreet when you're giving me my money. So the lady at the counter immediately called security and said, this guy looks like a thief. So they arrest him on spot simply because they profiled him to be something that he wasn't. On checking him out, guy had millions on his account, so they had to let him go. So for example, have noticed that there is a general bias towards people who may have different hairstyles, and they're usually profiled as wrongdoers in comparison to others who are not. Yet the whole dreadlock thing is trending nowadays. People have dreads and have long beards, and it's normal. Why is it that there are some profiles that, what determines those profiles? What background can you give towards that determines that this one would be, say, a better criminal or would be more of a criminal than the other?
That's a very nice one. I have been here for long.
Yes.
Meaning in the police. And I know the the profiles you're talking about, I know the thinking that is attached to different people, and sometimes I don't blame them. Much as we are supposed to police in a changing world,
Yes.
in a changing society.
Yes.
Actually, it's now a change. As people talk about change management, we also talk about police in a changing environment. Who knew that would police this society with the advancement in technology, advancement in like now we're talking about social media. When I was in the training school to become a police officer in 1989, nobody told me, or nobody even thought about, that we are going to police, we are going to get information in the way we do our work from social media.
Yes, and then you catch criminals.
Yes. But this is what is happening now. Okay? So now we are teaching our police officers on how to police in an environment that that has had changes in technology. You must be a police officer worth his salt must quickly adapt to the new technological advancements that we have now. Okay, that's why you see me, a 58-year-old man, I'm always on Twitter.
You're 58?
Yes, I'm 58.
Wow, you train well.
Yeah, I had Gaetano and Lake yesterday. So Gaetano was saying, no, he looks 34. And Lake made it worse that he looks 28. So why would I be there? Now, this is the issue. As we started in the 60s or in the 70s or in the 80s, there is what we call the way the methods that the people use to commit crime. Okay?
Yes.
People would use, from decade to decade, people would use certain, the people who commit crimes would use certain things. So there is a way that crime is committed.
Yes.
Filmmakers would also come up with motion pictures and films depicting, when they're talking about criminality, how a criminal looks like. In the 60s, probably the criminal was a black person.
Most of the time, yes.
And in 70s. So anyone who is going to be a criminal in that play was going to be black.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, with all these movements coming up, and racial profiling and whatever, they started going away from profiling black people and using them as the bad guy. Now, they started bringing either a black person or a white person. So somebody who's going to go into a bank and carry out a heist is going to have a hood.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Because the hood technology had come, banks were having, cameras. So somebody comes, hands up, and there is a hood. Yes. One time it used to be, they never used to have this hood. So it is just a matter of getting a sweater, cut the eyes, So you put here, tie it here, and you go, and the cameras would not tell who it was.
Okay.
Now we have cameras that remove the hood. So you have a hood, you go and carry a heist in the bank, the camera has a software that simply removes the hood and leaves the original body.
So it identifies you.
It is a recognition, it has what is called a recognition kind of system in it. All right?
Yeah.
So now people dropped that, and definitely movie makers no longer now use that for somebody to commit a crime, because somebody is going to say, nah, that movie is not authentic. How can he? No, that is cheap. So now there is now people who now were going to rob, to whatever, at a certain point, because I remember I went to the US and I did this kind of study. And I was in the District 10 in Washington, D.C. And if I say District 10, you know what I mean.
Yes.
And we would go to patrol during that area. Yes. Now, who are these guys who were knifing people, who were snatching whatever, whatever? So they were on drugs. And most of those guys were, having their hair, with dreadlocks and whatever. Now, you see a police officer, yes, is trained to be observant.
Yes.
Not that really they profile you, but they are trained to be observant.
Yes.
Very, very observant. I was in a course in the UK, in Stafford, and then I was taken to another area in the Midlands, and in the evening, I decided to go on a walk. So I put on my jacket. It was cold. were in Warwick, if you know Warwick. Yeah, so I was in Warwick.
Yeah.
So I went in a certain area where I was staying, in Rugby, no, Leamington. So then I started walking and then looking at the architecture and then looking at, whatever people were doing. Then I went to the residential area, moving, and then I saw a police vehicle coming slowly, and then they reached me, and then they said, "Hey guy, can we assist you? Do you mind we give you a lift to where you stay?"
Okay.
Then I was like, "No, I know where I stay. It's okay. I'm fine. I'm." Then they said, "No. Can we give you a lift?" So they actually stopped and they opened the car. They said, "Please come, we'll go with you. Come, we'll take you to where you stay."
Wow.
So I sat, and they took me to the hotel where I was staying.
Yes.
So in the hotel, I requested, "You come to my room." Yes. And I think they wanted also they were curious. So they come to my room. So I asked them, "Why did you profile me? Why did you?" They said, No, we are not profiling. I said, "No, I work with you."
Yeah.
"I work with you." They said, "You work with us? Are you part of us?" I said, "Yeah, I'm part of you. I'm in the community policing department with John Rust."
Wow.
"Okay, you work with John Rust?" I said, "Yes." "How long?" "I've been working here for 2 weeks and I'm going to be here for 6 months.
Wow.
They said, "We are sorry about that." I told them, "I know exactly what you were doing."
Yes.
The people around called you, say, "We're seeing a black guy here. He's putting on a coat. We've never seen him in the community." That's how community policing works. "So you had to come and you tell me what you tell me." Then they laughed. We all laughed it. And then they went back. So now, it's the same thing that these guys, they go to communities and then, everybody who has committed something, they show him and whatever. And now people, they begin to understand that people who are committing crime are like this and this and this and this and this. Yeah. Even the motion pictures, now they started, depicting people with the dreads. Yeah, and that kind of thing. But now that is also gone, because now people who are committing crimes, they do not have to look in a certain way. It's now people. The ordinary people, the guys in suits, the guys in ties, the guys with bling bling, these are the people that are committing crimes. Actually, now we can talk about white collar, because it's the white, in those days, white collar are people who got offices and they steal money there. Then the the blue collar crimes are the kind of people who go and, then the black collar crimes are that kind of. But now, I think there is only one crime now, white collar crime. Because the guys who take your money are the guys who talk on phone, like Americans, like whatever, and they pretend they are whatever, and they take your money.
Yes.
These are the guys who are committing those crimes. So there is no longer need for any police officer to profile anybody because of the way he looks.
Oh, okay.
Everyone that you see on the street is capable of committing a heinous crime, including getting a revolver and shoot somebody dead.
Yes.
So our people now need to have that shift in the thinking, that at night, because I've been working with all these people,
yes,
there are young people who sing in church. There are young people who go on training because there are young people who go to bars and they are bouncers.
Yes.
There are young people who study at night.
Yes.
Because, you're at MOOBS, you're at Makerere, you are whatever, you're studying at night. By 11, you're going home. Okay?
Yes.
Now, if you're going to look at them, or who is putting on whatever, you will arrest everybody in this city. Because this is now what is involved. Beards. Young people now have beards.
Yes.
I fight with my son. And then when he sits there, he's like this. I say, there's only one man in this house. It's me. And I don't wear a beard. They say, "Oh, Dad. Dad. And they have this beard. So, what are you going to do? We cannot keep on profiling people because of the type of hair and because of the type of shoes and what people must be not criminalized because of how they look, because that is in the 90s and early 2000s. Now we are in a different kind of environment.
Wow, that is well said. Now, to come away from the whole police bit, we have a culture here in Uganda, rules, same thing, uniforms, whereby we have been, when I was in Namagunga, I was in school, and I was in Namagunga for 13 years. So in school, I remember us girls, we were not allowed to have our hair. But in school, there were always the Indians and the Caucasian kids who would join us. And for them, they were automatically allowed to have their hair, which was a little unfair. And it affects the esteem of the kids, right, growing up. Because also it limits our innovation, especially around hair. You find that the combs that we use were invented by a white person. The machines for blow drying were invented by different people. However, if we were given the opportunity to actually grow our hair, maybe we would meet these challenges and provide solutions for ourselves. Your children are a little older. If, say, you had a grandchild.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
A granddaughter.
Yeah.
And she was given the opportunity to go to school, to a good school. But there's one that cut off hair, and there's one that didn't cut off hair. How would you, they both perform well, how would you go about that issue of, would you allow your granddaughter to go to school with her hair at a young age and be able to grow with it and learn how to live with it? Or would you prefer to have her cut it off because of your own reasons, so that she goes through school, well, the same way? Which route would you take?
I have a daughter, she has just gone to university, and she's the lucky girl because she has hair that can even go to her knees.
Oh, wow.
She loves that hair, I don't know. So when she finished primary 7, because in primary they never stopped them having their hair.
Yes.
Where she was going in primary, she had her hair.
Yeah.
Now when it came to senior 1, and she put Gayaza.
Yes.
And she didn't have exactly the points that Gayaza needed.
Yes.
She didn't have a 4 or a 5. So she said, Dad, go to Gayaza. And I say, my daughter, that 7 in which you have, Gayaza may not take you. Let me try. So I went there, and these schools. So I came with very bad news. And she said, no, Dad, the way who you are, you cannot fail. I said, I've failed. Can we look at another school? And she said, which one? So I told her the school. She said, no. I mentioned another school. It is a good school. She said, no. Then I had to sit with her to tell me why the choice of the school. Then she told me, I want a school that is not going to cut my hair.
Oh.
Understand?
Yeah. Yes.
And I said, okay, now I perfectly understand.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we had to take her to Uganda Matters, Namugongo.
It's a good school. What
Yes.
are you saying, unfortunately?
No, I'm saying unfortunately because they don't allow too much hair.
Yes.
So she had to cut the hair.
Yes.
But after that, she loved the school. She didn't have much problem with the school. I would not mind my child to wear the hair she wants or he wants. And from the scenario you talked about of Namagunga at that time, I would be mad if I went to school and I found my child had been cut off the hair and another child has the hair.
Yes.
And she's crying about it and she's complaining about it. I would be batty, to tell you the truth. Yes. I would be extremely batty about it.
Yes.
So I think schools can be known for that. If you want to say here we don't keep hair, let's know it. You don't keep hair. Yes. And it must be for everybody.
Yes.
If you allow hair, then you allow hair. Whether you don't need hair or allow hair, it's okay. However, you don't play different rules. Okay? I saw when we cut hair of our children, you know, when they are going back to school, we first take them to the salons. Now, after that, they go to school. You reach the gate, they say, that hair, we are not allowing it. You must do another haircut. So we understand. I'm sorry to say that personally, I thought that maybe this hair thing in schools, I'm sorry, I thought that maybe it is about money generating venture.
In my opinion, you know, we have two things that identify who we are first before we bring in the brains and other things. We have our hair, and then we also have our skin. When you have the thing that makes us feminine, even in the Bible, they say the hair, the length of a woman's hair, well, there's a Song of Solomon about it. Now, the moment you start taking away that thing which identifies us primarily and not giving us the choice to keep it, it's like telling me as a child or as a girl that, well, your hair is not good enough, it's not worthwhile, so remove it, right? And if you're to keep it, then you provide me a solution and tell me your hair is not good enough the way it is in its natural state, perm it or relax it. You're indirectly affecting my self-esteem without necessarily knowing it.
I agree.
Right? So this thing of, I am in disagreement with schools that tell children to cut off the hair without offering them a chance to grow their hair. We faced a challenge during when the COVID lockdown was opened and kids had to go to school. We had several children come to our salon and cry, telling mothers that, no, I don't want to cut it off, or if you cut it off, give it to me and I make a wig out of it. We were literally taking away something from them. But us as, you know, the parents that do it, they don't necessarily understand the why. But like your daughter said, she was choosing her schools based on, you know, her hair. And has it made her any duller? I don't think so.
No. For me, actually, why I made that comment is that each child in a term, you are supposed to pay, let me say, 30,000.
Oh.
And then you ask, what is this money for? They say it is for cutting hair. You see? So a school employs somebody who cuts the hair. They have barbers for schools. Sometimes you go to the school and you say, no, how come this hair has gone? So they're supposed to cut like every week, but if you visit your school, you find your child has not been cut for 3 weeks. You understand? Yeah, so why I'm saying that is there is a question mark. You say every child must cut his or her hair. There are schools with 6,000 pupils.
Wow.
6,000 in this country. I will not mention them, but there are schools with 6,000. So if you have 6,000 and each child is going to pay 30, and the barbers are your own barbers in whatever, okay? How much money is that? Okay? So sometimes it's economics. But you may not see it. I'm sorry, I don't want to go there. But I think let us know that the school you have to cut the hair. But that possibility of some are going to, because they are Caucasians, they are whatever, I don't think it is going to be nice. I think that must be avoided. Parents, we shouldn't be stressing our children. If the school says that you can have hair, then you don't come and say, cut it up to the skin. If the school is okay with it and your child is okay with it, I don't see any problem that comes with that.
Oh, cool. One last question. Not that you're retiring soon, but say if you were to retire and you're given...
I'm actually retiring soon.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We shall miss you as a country. So if say you were given $10 million today, on the day you're retiring, assume that is the day, what would you use that money for? Uganda is known to be the most entrepreneurial country, right? So you're being given a check, boom, $10 million. You have done a great job. What do you use it for?
Ooh. Oof. That is something I never thought about. Don't give me that money. Well, anyway, for me, I really think that that whatever we do, we must be able to change society for the better.
Yes.
I've just finished writing my own autobiography. It's a book called Chosen. It's within 1 month we shall have the copies. And it's something that I want to leave behind for police officers, for everybody to know who is this man. I don't want people to tell my story.
Yes.
I want to tell my story. I don't want to say this man was here. No, you are going to see it. And what is not there, you can debate it. But what is there, take this because I wrote it with my right frame of mind.
Yes.
And now I'm telling a story from where I'm born. And I'm telling a story where I'm going back.
Yes.
Okay? And now the question is, what has changed intrinsically? People may be having good houses, they look well, but I'm going back to the village where I was born.
Yes.
Okay? Started primary 1, you know, church school and whatever. But here I am. I'm retiring, a 58-year-old man. I'm retiring, Assistant Inspector General. I was known in that village, now I'm known in the country. Probably people would keep on coming and then to ask me this, how did you do this? Maybe you journalists will also be coming. How do you find this end and that kind of thing? Now, what perturbs me is the intrinsic change and life of the people. How come that when I was in primary 1, primary 2, primary 5, they used to wake us very early in the morning at 5 and they tell us, go to the well and get water and bring it here. So we just get a jerrycan, you go down, you move up to where the swamp is, you collect water from there, bring it. Even when you come for lunch, you go there and you bring a jerrycan. And right now, as I go back, they're still doing that.
Wow.
58, I'm 58. So they're still doing that. You understand what I mean?
Yes, yes.
Now,
yes.
how come that I was born in a village and my mother, much as she did on the way, that's where she gave birth to me, had not reached the hospital and she was going on foot. And the hospital was in Kabwohe. Somebody born in Shema,
Yes.
at the Shema district headquarters.
Yes.
That's where I'm born from. So we had to go to Kabwohe at the health center and get treatment. And it is still that. Okay?
Yes.
The primary school I went to, Chivingo Primary School, is 1.5 kilometers from my home. And we used to walk there, study, come back. And it is still the same primary school. Okay?
Yes.
Now, it means that there's something that I want to change, but I don't have means to change it.
Yes.
Now, here comes the $10 million US.
Wow.
I'll go to my village,
Yes.
probably my parish, and change intrinsically the lives of these people. If it means, because there is, at least now, there is a pipe that is somewhere of water, but water does not reach everybody's house. We need to take clean water to people's homes, and we put it there.
Yes.
Even if it means, even if you don't have that running water, but you can have technology where people can get the water underground and they have it in their homes.
Yes.
So there are certain things that must be there to change. Number 1, clean water.
Yes.
Number 2, medication, health,
Yes, absolutely.
especially primary health.
Yes.
In the villages, it is still a huge problem.
Yes.
Now, power, if power is there, how many people have power? Electricity in their houses. If they are lucky to have electricity in their houses, because in my village now we have power,
Yes.
but then it's the bulb. It's for the bulb.
Yeah.
It's for putting in a radio,
Charging the radio.
charging the phone.
Yes.
Maybe if you're lucky, you have a small TV. Maybe in the village there are people like 5 who have TVs or
Yes.
something like that. But now we must use power for small something, from turning something that this subsistence agriculture, turning something that adds on a value.
Yes,
and
yes,
people
yes.
must be sensitized and educated
Yes.
about it. That yes, you can have a garden of pineapples, but you can have something small around there, and you turn these pineapples into something, and you
Juice.
yes, and you bottle it, you take it to the town, and you get some money
Yes.
out of that.
Yes.
So I think those are the areas I would think about, that changing the person on that village. And I don't remember anybody in my village living up to 100. If they are there, they are very few. I think I know like 2 Wazeis, one was 100, another one 90 something. But most people go 70, they have gone. Now I've gone 58, I'm going home. Now, so to be 70, I add how many years I have to live. You understand what I'm saying?
You may reach 100.
No, I'm saying
yes,
at with the kind of whatever.
The average,
yes. So can
yes,
that money be used to extend the life, the lives
yes.
of people on my village?
Yes.
That change. I don't mean that they should look like us in the town and have this. No. Can they have something and live longer? Can they stop drinking bad water?
Yes.
Okay? Can they have proper sanitation? We're talking about, yes. Can we, some people don't have toilets. Can we talk about how people can use simple toilets, and then they are not going to be sick?
Yes.
These are the kinds of things that I will think about. And I know the $10 million US, I'm going to put a hospital at my village.
Wow.
And I'm going to put the hospital to start treating them other disease, but also educating them. Cancers are killing people on a village.
Yes.
I grew up and nobody died of cancer. But now you go there, people are dying of cancer. 2, people have diabetes. Sukari, I call it
yes.
sukari in my language.
Yes.
Okay? Now, almost everybody with 50 years and above in the village, you go there and say, mwana ushukare kankwata. You mwana ushukare nenda kunyita. You know, something like that, which means almost everybody is diabetic. Can't we have a place where you have to educate people about how they eat and what they should eat? Okay? People in my village are eating day, night. Matoke day, matoke night, matoke. No millet, there's no longer millet, yes. No longer sorghum, no longer granuts, no longer cassava, sweet potatoes. They don't do that. They even don't have, there's not even manpower. Houses are 1 person, 2 people. Your parents, your old parents, they're the ones living there. All the children are in towns, they're on borders. There's nobody who is this is like a border economy. There's nobody who is living in the homes. Yes. So what do? Eat that matoke day in, day out, day in, day out. And when a disease comes, their bodies are weak. Yes. So I think that money would be used to change
the livelihoods, go back to the basics.
I don't need the 10 million for myself. What I have is enough for me. I can that one I can assure you. I'm telling you the truth. I am sorted.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This has really raised my respect for you even more.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate this.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I guess we are done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you.
That is really nice.
Yeah. It really disturbs me. Do you know even prayer? There are certain things I didn't want to say. Do you know even church has changed?
Oh yeah.
You just go for Christmas. At the moment you enter that church, people are thinking about how much money you're going to live in that church. So there is no more prayer and praising and whatever. No. In fact, the moment the reverend sees you, he's going to tell these other people who are whatever, hurry up the service. This what that you have talked so much. No. You sing 3 songs and whatever. He wants more time on Oh, you see that thing, we need to change it and look like this. Oh, you see me, this shoe I put it on from January to whatever. Oh, you see I walk on foot, I need a border. Oh, you know, this place needs tiling, the way you left it is the way it is. Oh, whatever. And then they begin auctioning matoke, auctioning one potato, auctioning popo, ipapari. Yes, auctioning that ipapari. You see, so by the time they finish, you must, and the following day, Christmas, we need to enjoy Christmas on 24th, 25th, 20th, even 24th we used to go to church at night. 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th. And you go on even 31st because it has to find you in church. And we used to go with the lanterns going to the church. You remember? You go with the lanterns coming from your home. Everybody, lantern. People go to church on 25th. 26th, the church is empty because of kusabiriza. You understand? But you get that money, go and put up a church and what is supposed to be in that church. Your reverend is supposed to have a car, let it be there. It's supposed to have this and this and this. Now, you come and be a reverend in this church. Drive this car and start visiting people in that community. This one is sick, this one was divorced and had a problem, this one was whatever. Now, I grew up seeing reverends coming to our home. Nija kusaba ni imwe. Msimba mazitushabe. Then they pray for you. Then they go to another place. But now, don't. It's you who goes to the reverend. And when you go to the reverend, you have to pay money. Even bishops. In the Ankole diocese, they started something called enyumyo. Enyumyo is given to people who have paid money more than 1 million. And
Special blessing.
you know that pillar of the church is supposed to be on what you have contributed to the church, spiritual nourishment and growth. What have you done? If you have put up a school for children to go and study from that school and they don't have to move the long distance, then at the end of the day, the diocese synod sits and said, Kasingye has done this for the Lord. He deserves to be given. It is like an award. And then you are called enyumyo. Or some other people, they give them canon.
Oh, okay.
In Western Kore Diocese, which is my mother diocese, canon is given to people who have paid 5 million, 10 million. And they become a canon. And you find a canon, somebody's a canon, is in a bar drinking, but he's a canon. I'm not lying, I'm telling you the truth. If you come from the West, you know what I'm talking about. You find somebody introducing himself, I'm Canon Asan Kasingye.
In the bar.
But you go for home at lunch time and it is all types of booze and brands and whatever. So which means canon, yes, by name, we want canon, but you don't live as a canon. Now, if you want to change lives, then you focus on those. You focus on the schools around, you focus on the churches, you focus on the health centers, you focus on whatever. Government cannot do anything.